Hi, Tammy Kabell here again, and I am founder and CEO of Career Resume Consulting. We're an executive career firm. We're based out of the Kansas City, Missouri area, but actually we work worldwide with people. If you speak English, we can help you find a six-figure or seven-figure job. So today I want to talk to you about the 10 things that you can actually remove from your current resume in order to get a better response. Because if you've listened to my advice before, you'll know that I'm all about writing a functional resume, which is skills-based, rather than a chronological resume, which is what 98% of the population does. And that's what 98% of human resources, recruiters, and hiring managers actually see when they're looking at resumes. So you want to be different, you want to be novel, not necessarily goofy or crazy. You still want to project an executive image, but there are things that you can do to get a six-figure job quickly, and one of those things is while you're working on a new functional resume, you can take your old chronological resume and remove some things out of it in order to get more responses. First, let me give you a quick background as to why I'm going to give you this advice so that you can put some context into it and understand the advice that I'm going to give you. You have to understand that a resume is not designed to get you a six-figure job or really any professional position. A resume is designed to get you the phone call. That's what you have to keep in mind. It is supposed to be a 30-second commercial that highlights your experience, your accomplishments, and what you can do for a company, especially how you can affect their bottom line. And you need to be able to do that in one page. I really recommend a one-page functional resume. If you'd like examples of a one-page functional resume that really gets results, I've got several of them on my website, which is careerresumeconsulting.com. Feel free to check it out after this video. You don't even have to sign up for anything. They're just on my website. Feel free to take any of the verbiage that you like and put it into your own resume. I'm not worried about you taking jobs away from my clients because we're really good at what we do. So to explain what your resume is designed to do, is designed to control the perception that people have about you before they even meet you. That is called branding. And specifically, it's called personal branding. So personal branding is one of those buzzwords that you've heard mentioned in a lot of blog posts in the last few years, but actually I've been doing personal branding for clients for 13 years. So I know very intimately what a personal brand is when you're looking for a job, especially an executive job. You have to understand it's a marketing term called your unique selling proposition or your unique value proposition. In job searching, what that equates to is your skills, your experience, your education, and your achievements. No one else has that combination, that unique combination. It's unique to you. So that's what you've got to put in your resume, is your unique selling proposition. What can you do for your next employer that no one else is capable of doing because of your experience, your achievements, your qualifications, skills, education, all of that wrapped into one page, distilled down into a one-page summary of what you're able to do for a company, how you're able to affect their bottom line. That's what you need to do. It starts with the very top of your resume, the top portion. Many people call it an objective statement, and many people start it out like this. I am looking for a company that can use my unique combination of skills and experience to further my career in blah, 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 blah. It's not about you. You've got to understand it is all about the employer. What can you do for them? So even though you're going to describe what you've been able to do, you still have to put it in terms that they understand and what's in it for them. Let me give you an example. Let me see. For instance, having grown my sales territory by 42% in the last 2 years, I've developed a systematic approach to business development that works and can affect your bottom line in a matter of months. Now, isn't that more persuasive than just giving an objective statement as to what you would like your unique combination of skills and experience to do for a company? You've got to be specific, and you've got to start with your biggest accomplishments. Get their attention right out of the gate and bold those numbers. You can do that in a chronological resume before you even write your functional resume from scratch, okay? So you have to state in no uncertain terms what you can do for a company and how. And basically what I like to do is look at someone's entire career, look at the trends in their career, look what they're really good at over and over again in their career, and those are their 3 core strengths. And there is a marketing rule of 3 that says put 3 things out there and they will be memorable and they will be repeatable. So if you come up with 3 core strengths, those things that, number 1, define you, number 2, set you apart from your competition, and number 3, are attractive to employers looking to hire someone like you, then you're going to hit it out of the park. But until you can do that, because that's not done in a couple of hours, you really have to spend a lot of time looking at your entire career, what you've been able to do for employers over and over again, figure out what trends you have in your history that make you a great investment, not just a winning candidate, but an investment that's going to pay off. If you're not familiar with the term ROI, get familiar with it. You need to be an investment that pays a return on investment. In other words, give me $150,000 a year and I will make you or save you much more than that. All right? And the way that you do that is you have accomplishments that have quantifiable results. I'll talk about that in another video, but right now what I want to do is give you 10 quick things that you can remove from your current chronological resume that looks like everyone else's, that's going to increase the chances of you getting a call back quickly, okay? The first thing I want you to know is that of the 10 things that you need to take away from your resume is that you need to take off any detailed career history past 10 or 12 years, or putting a date on anything that's older than 15 years old. How do you do that? You simply list after maybe the 12th year or the 15th year of employment, chronologically, you put earlier experience includes, and then you list where you worked and what you did and your accomplishments, but you don't list the dates. In other words, people want to know what you've done lately. What have you done in the last 10 or 12 years? That's what's going to be most relevant. And you don't want to date yourself. I have seen so many resumes, since most of my clients are over the age of 50 to 62 or so. What I found is that a lot of people will put what they've done in the 70s or in the 80s. You don't want to do that. You don't want to give them an idea of how old you are just based on their first impression, which is your resume. You want to keep that until later. Yes, they're going to understand how old you are when you're sitting in front of them, but that's after you've been given the chance to sell yourself over the phone. So don't nix that chance before you even get a chance to talk over the phone. Make them want to call you, and the sweet spot for a mid-level leadership position or a highly skilled position is 10 to 12 years of experience. If you're looking for a senior level position, such as a C-suite position, 15 plus years of experience is applicable, but you want to just say 15 years of experience. You don't want to say, I have over 30 years of experience doing XYZ. You don't want to do that. Don't let them think that you're near retirement, even if you are, okay? Same goes for people who are just out of school. You don't want to let them know you're just out of school. So if you've held a job with school while you were going to school, put that job down. Really, for a high-level position, if it's an individual contributor position, you want 5 to 10 years experience is the sweet spot. Mid-level management position, leadership position, or highly paid professional, $150,000 or so, that's going to be 10 to 12 years experience, and then 15 plus years experience if you're looking for a C-suite position such as CEO, COO, CFO, CTO, or CIO. Okay? So take off anything beyond 10 or 12 years of experience or 15 years of experience if you're looking for the C-suite position. All right? You also, I still see this, you also don't want to include past salary in your resume. Don't talk about compensation at all until they've offered you the job. You don't want to talk about past salary. You don't want to give salary requirements. And yes, there are a lot of online ways that you apply for a job, that with those online job boards you have to put your salary requirements. That's just so that they can put upper and lower limits on the people that are applying, and that's going to get you shut out. So if you can't put 0, if it doesn't allow you to put 0, then, and because it's negotiable, if it doesn't allow you to negotiate and just say, hey, it depends on the job responsibilities, then put something that's going to be in the middle of what you see on salary.com. Salary.com is a wonderful resource to be used, and it's what small to medium-sized businesses without large HR firms have use at their disposal to find how much to pay for their employees. So use salary.com if you're in the U.S. But I still see people put salary requirements on their resume. Take those off. Do not talk about salary until they know you are the one that they want to hire. It's just a matter of how much is it going to cost to get you. You will get a lot more, even over what they said they would pay for that position, if you have done the right things in selling yourself into that position and making yourself relevant to their pain points and their aspirations. That I cover in another video. So let's also talk about number 3, dates of graduation from college, or if you have no college, I've seen high school put. As a matter of fact, this morning I was talking with a prospective client who gave me his resume, and he's 60 years old, and it showed not only where he went to high school, which is irrelevant when you're 60, but also the dates of graduation. I don't need to know you graduated in 73 or whatever it was. Don't tell me the dates of graduation even from college. I don't want that on there. Just put the what degree you received and where you received it, but not dates of graduation. Again, you don't want to be discounted or thrown out of the stack. You've got 6 seconds of someone's attention. It's been proven scientifically in a study that showed on average recruiters spend about 6 seconds of their attention on each resume. So don't get thrown out in that 6 seconds by listing the dates of when you graduated college or even high school. And if you don't have any college degree, that's fine. Just don't mention the high school experience. Everyone just assumes you graduated high school, okay? So the next one is, well, I actually just covered it. Anything regarding high school graduation, just don't put it. Okay. Number 5 is the beginning and ending months of employment. Only put the years. Now that's going to be very important, especially going into a new year. You only want to put the beginning and ending years of employment, not months. Now they may ask you this in an interview, but of course at that time you've had the availability of selling yourself beyond just long-term unemployment. But it does keep long-term unemployment down to a minimum, because when you have just years, if it's last year, then they don't know if you left in December or in January. Just don't put the years, all right? Something else to mention is that if you have just a list, this is probably pretty important. Let's call this one number 6. Just a list of job duties or job responsibilities. A lot of people just have job responsibilities like a job description on their resume. Nobody wants to know what you did just showing up for work every day. What they want to know is, what did you do to go above and beyond showing up for work every day. In other words, accomplishments, accomplishments, accomplishments. And I can't stress that enough. That's probably, out of all of these, the number one thing. You've got to put accomplishments, how you affected the bottom line of an employer, whether you saved a company money or whether you made a company money. And you always want to make those numbers relative to what job you're applying for. So if you're looking for a job that makes a company money, like business development, sales, account management, even marketing, you want to show numbers that are revenue generating. You want to show numbers that are, even if you've saved money, talk about it in profit margin increase terms rather than saving money. Because if they're hiring someone for sales, they don't care if you've saved money. They want somebody that generates money in a money-making job. Now, if you're looking in something like IT, finance, operations, they're looking for cost cutting. So show how you've saved money. Bold those numbers so that they see them. That's when their eyes are scanning that paper, you want them to just go to those numbers. Show a bunch of numbers on the bottom half of your one page. And again, go to careerresumeconsulting.com and you can see many examples of how I do that, how we do that as a company. I love to say 12 to 15 really great examples with quantifiable achievements of what you've been able to do to affect the bottom line of the companies you've worked for. You've got to have that in the resume, and then we'd like to have another 5 to 7 achievements that are outside of the resume that you can talk about in an interview that will wow them even further outside of what you've got on your one-page resume. All right? So the next one is personal stuff. I still see this a lot. I see, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Well, I like snow skiing. I play tennis. I play backgammon at the community center. That kind of thing. I don't want you to put that information. They don't have time to read it, and right now, they don't care. What they want to know is, what can you do for me? There is time and a place to talk about that stuff, but it is not during the front page, the first impression that you give someone. That is not the place to put it, okay? You can talk about that stuff in the rapport building part of a phone or a face-to-face interview. You can talk about your personal stuff and make yourself more alive and more realistic, give yourself more dimensions, but there's not time when you've got 6 seconds of someone's attention. They really want to know, are you going to be right for this job, okay? So take off the personal stuff. I know you love it, and playing with your grandkids is really important to you. Got it. But they don't care, okay? Now, something else that I'm still seeing too is references on the resume, especially when you're sending it electronically. Now, one thing to note on electronic online resume, the job applications, I'm not a big fan of those because they go to HR, it goes into a black hole. You have probably experienced the black hole syndrome of never hearing back, and you never know if your resume is even seen by real human eyeballs. Okay? Probably isn't, even if you've got it stuffed full of keywords. And honestly, if you've got it stuffed full of keywords just to make it past those automated bots, it may be stuffed full of keywords, but it still doesn't mean you're right for the job. So, what I recommend is you sending a hard copy with a handwritten note, not a cover letter. Handwritten notes take 5 minutes, and they've been proven to get 3 to 4 times the response rate of a cover letter that may take you 2 to 3 hours to write. So I like sending it hard copy with a handwritten note, and here's a great piece of advice. Get some greeting card envelopes. If you want to know where to get them cheaply that are still high quality, for my clients, I recommend envelopemall.com. And I'm not getting paid to say that. I just like envelopemall.com. You can usually get Astro Brights, which are A7 size, about that size, or you can get an A9 size that are metallic for literally $17 to $24 for 100 of them. So it doesn't cost much, but what you're doing is you're bypassing the gatekeepers. if the administrative assistant gets a hold of it, they're going to not open it. They're going to give it to the person you addressed it to. So you're guaranteed that the person that would be your boss, if you send it to them, they are the ones reading your resume. And that's who you want reading your resume. Again, upping the chances of getting a response. And that's what you're looking for in the resume. You don't want someone to make a hiring decision about you based on a piece of paper. You want them to read a 30-second commercial about you, be very interested, very intrigued, and compelled to pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, tell me about yourself. And then goes the selling part. So you've done your marketing correctly if you've gotten a phone call, and then on the phone you're going to use sales psychology to walk yourself into a face-to-face interview. All right? Again, a topic for another video. I got a lot of videos to do, it sounds like. So keep in mind, I'm not a big fan of applying online because even to this day, there are hundreds, if not over 1,000 resumes submitted for each position posted, because just because you're on LinkedIn and it says only 75 people have applied for this, it doesn't mean that they're not posting it on their website and getting applications that way, or posting it on Career Builder or Indeed and getting applications that way. So just because it says 75 people doesn't mean your chances are 1 in 75 of getting a phone call. It could be hundreds, if not over 1,000, if it's a big, well-known company in your area. All right? Okay, so references, you don't even have to put references upon request. That used to be a thing too. That's kind of passé. You don't have to put references upon request because everyone knows that they are. So you don't list your references at the beginning when you first give your first 30-second commercial. What you want to do is give references, and I know I'm going really fast. I'm sorry, I should slow down a little bit. You should give references when they ask for them or after a successful face-to-face interview. Okay? And a successful face-to-face interview means you've had the face-to-face interview, you think it went well, you're getting good positive feedback from them, good signs from them, and you still want the job. So if you still want the job, then take your reference sheet, which you've printed out ahead of time, and as you're standing up to shake their hand, you say, you know, you've heard about my experience from me. Now I'd love for you to talk with these people about my experience and my achievements. All right? Make sure you coach your references ahead of time very thoroughly. Your references want to be there for you. Your references love you and will say wonderful things about you. Otherwise, they wouldn't be your references, right? So really, what they want to know is, hey, what do you want me to tell somebody? So coach them and give them examples of strengths that you have so that they can tell the same kind of stories that you're going to be telling in an interview, and leaving the communication consistent across all avenues. Your resume should have the same message and communication as your interview answers, and there should not be any surprises with your references. So you need to coach your references to say the same things that you're saying in your interview. It's okay if they hear the same stories over and over again, but also be sure and tell a good 5, 6, 7 stories in an hour-long interview. And if they go over an hour, that's great. If they don't take that personally. Even if it's a half-hour interview, they may have something scheduled at the bottom of the hour. It has nothing to do with you, so don't take a lot of things personally in an interview. All right. So the last thing I want to mention today as far as what to take off of your resume, resumes have it 2 or more pages. So again, 30-second commercial. I've seen a lot of resumes, especially in IT and in engineering. Those people like to put a lot of pages of information, all of the languages they know, all of the projects that they've been on. I've seen resumes 7 to 9 pages long, but I have been told by multiple friends that are in the hiring field. Those are recruiters, HR managers, and even hiring managers at the most senior level. They say to me, listen, Tammy, if it's not on the first page, I don't have time to read it. Now, what does that say about your current resume? So, do you have really cool things that you did 10, 15 years ago that's on page 2 or page 3 of your resume? Do you have an executive MBA that's listed on page 2 of your resume? They're not going to see it. All of that time and money you spent on that MBA is gone. They don't see it. So put it right there in the front. And again, you can go to my website, careerresumeconsulting.com, and you can see examples of functional resumes that have gotten multiple calls, lots of calls for my clients. As a matter of fact, I've put some of the most successful ones out there, and you'll see why they're successful, because they're written persuasively. So in another video, I'll talk about the 7 characteristics of a great resume and what you really need to have on a great resume. But for now, what I would like you to do is take all of my advice from today, go to your current resume, take a red pen, start marking some stuff up, and then redo it so that you've removed all of the months, all of the dates of your graduation from college, months of employment, all of the job descriptors. You know, there's a certain amount of scope of responsibility that you want to list, but you don't want just your responsibilities. You want to show what you've done above and beyond showing up for work every day. All right? Take off the personal stuff, take off the references, take off the salary, and when you bring it down and distill it into one page, you'll find that it's infinitely more powerful because it's taking years and years of your skills, your achievements, your education, all and your experience, and putting all of that into one page. That's what makes it very powerful. I hope this has served you today. If you want to talk with us about our services, you're welcome to give us a call. Our number is 816-600-2478. Again, that's 816-600-2478. And of course, I would love for you to go to our website because we've got a lot of free resources out there. If you think this was good, go out there. You're going to find a ton of free resources. And the website again is careerresumeconsulting.com. Again, I hope this has helped you today. I look forward to hearing about your success, so please email me if you'd like to talk with us, or if you just want to tell me about your success because you watched this video. My email address is Tammy, which is TAMMY, at beyondjobsearching.com. All right, have a very productive week, and I look forward to hearing about your success. Bye now. Have a great day.